Well, do you have a migraine yet? So here we are, we're looking at data regarding migraine headaches and the drugs we take to relieve those headaches. And what we're looking at again is the amount of time it takes before somebody gets relief from the migraine. So I'm looking at the sheet here. For drug A, the lowest value there is 16. So one patient got relief after 16 minutes. And then you see all the other numbers, and at the end, the maximum number is 120. So somebody got relief after 122 hours, 120 minutes. Drug B, a much smaller group of people took drug B, and we see 18 minutes before relief on the low side, 120 minutes before relief on the high side. And the point of this whole thing is we want to compare drug A to drug B and maybe make a case about which one is more effective. So what I have here on the board are just the values that I got. Hey, please don't freak out if my numbers aren't the same as yours. I'm counting all those numbers and I'm going cross-eyed just like you maybe. So if I'm off by a little bit, or maybe you're off by a little bit, check and see who might be off by a little bit. So I have a minimum first quartile, median, third quartile, max. Now sometimes we could even say this, first quartile, second quartile, third quartile, just that the second quartile is the median. And then down here for drug B, 18, 30, 44, 74, 120. Check and see how we did. Then for each of those drugs, I came over here and I created the scatter plot. So drug A, minimum, first quartile, median, third quartile, maximum. Put a box between the quartiles. We call this the interquartile range between quartile 1 and quartile 3, the median being there in the box. And then we have the whiskers kind of extending out to the minimum and the maximum. Minimum, quartile 1, median, quartile 3, maximum, whiskers, interquartile range is in a box so that we can hopefully compare. Now there's one thing that has to be known about this. Remember, when you are counting all those numbers, here's the big thing. Of all 106 patients for drug A, how many of those patients fall between 16 and 46? How many patients fall between 46 and 78, between 78 and 94, between 94 and 120? Here's the thing. Remember, you took the median, which was half and half. So half of the patients are on this side, half of the patients are on this side. Then when you said on the left side, you took the middle of that. The first quartile is the median of the left half. You went right in the middle here. So a quarter of the patients are in here. 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 And I write all that, say all that, because sometimes students look at the length of the whiskers or the length of the box and they think, well, there's more stuff here or less stuff here. Every single section contains 1/4 of the data. So in here, a quarter of the patients are in here, a quarter in here, a quarter in here, and a quarter. There's just as many patients who got relief between 18 and 30 minutes as there are patients who got relief between 74 and 120 minutes. So don't look at the lengths of the whiskers, the lengths of the boxes, whatever, and think there's more stuff there. There's not more stuff there. There's just as much stuff in each one of those 4 sections. It's a quarter, a quarter, a quarter, and a quarter. The issue is, though, how spread out is the relief. See here, a quarter of the 47 patients, roughly, fall between 18 and 30 minutes. A quarter of the patients fall between 74 and 120. The data got more spread out between 74 and 20 compared to more compact in here. Now, looking at all those numbers, it's going to be hard to make a case for which drug is more effective. But when you get a picture's worth 10 to the 3rd power words. When you get a picture, you can kind of see it better. That in drug B, a couple of things I noticed. First of all, 3/4 of the patients got relief in 74 minutes or less. Compare that with drug A. With drug A, only half the patients got relief after 78 minutes. 3/4 of the patients, half the patients. 3/4 of the patients here got relief faster than half the patients up here. And so that would be maybe an argument for drug B being more effective. Now in here, there's a quarter, a quarter, a quarter, a quarter. So look, on this side, visually, because these sections are shorter, doesn't mean there's less people in those. There's just as many patients in each one, but there's the data was compressed. It was not very spread out. It was consistent. A quarter of the patients got relief between 18 and 30. Another quarter got relief between 18 and 44. Half the patients got relief after 44 minutes. Where up here, half the patients got relief after 78 minutes. Look how spread out. A quarter of the 106 patients are in here between 16 and 46. A quarter of drug B patients are between 18 and 30. More consistency in effect, more spread out in effect. So consistency or spread out or halves and three quarters and quarters, all of that kind of stuff can help you compare kind of side by side which drug you think is more effective. I hope that helps you to answer all the questions on this thing and get you thinking about it. You have one more task to do.